GORECAST is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. Stay with decapitation without your head.
America's horror channel, www.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Sunday here in the GORECAST, where we're having a fucking significantly large amount of technical difficulties, so bear with us.
We think the internet may be out to get us.
Yeah, I might have murdered my... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all the editing. I'll explain what all the editing is about in a little bit. Could just be overloading the computer with a load of fucking cockamamie stuff. Hoodly doodly doo. Hoodly doodly doo. That's a good opening for a show. Hoodly doodly doo.
Oh,
everyone. Okay, anyway, welcome back to another Sunday here in the GORECAST. I'm Johnny Deadly, this is the Giz, and this green guy over to our whatever direction it is, because I keep getting that one. Yeah. Is Rotty P. Rotty P is going to have a new podcast coming out on the internets really soon called The Rot Firm. So we thought we'd have him on because he's got really good commentary, and one of the movies that we're going to be talking about gets him heard in a cinematic way.
Hello, everyone.
You which Rotty P may freeze occasionally. Thank you, technical difficulties.
Motherfucker.
Oh boy.
Okay, so say hello to everybody. I'm going to have to go back sharing here because the internet has killed me.
Hello, everyone out there in Horrorland. This is Rotty P.
Well, at least his mic definitely works that time.
Yeah, his mic's working.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to open up a second Facebook page again. Fingers crossed.
Well,
My computer doesn't explode. Oh wait, maybe if we turn the fan facing, maybe the computer needs to go there more than I do.
I doubt it.
It's probably not true.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried.
Yeah. While Johnny sorts out the many technical issues that we are being plagued with this evening, I suppose we might as well just move right into things with the show. As you have no doubt seen from the advertising, this week we're going to be covering writer, director, producer, super fracking cinematic genius, Larry Cohen. Very apt that he does that, by the way. To be perfectly honest, Larry Cohen is one of those people that, while you might not instantaneously recognize the name, you're guaranteed that if you take a list of the films that he's written, directed, and or produced, you're going to be going, I've seen that, and I've seen that, and oh, I used to watch that TV show when I was a kid. Saw that in the reruns, the Invaders.
As they said in the... I'll do that now. I'll finish this one first. As they said in the documentary, you mightn't know it, you mightn't be aware of it, but at some stage in your life, you've definitely seen a Larry Cohen picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not wrong.
No, they're not.
They're not wrong. The internet's wrong.
It always is.
I'm slowly getting aggravated.
One of the things that set Larry Cohen apart from a lot of filmmakers, especially in the 70s and 80s, was his penchant for basically doing exactly the kind of thing that Johnny here does. And that is to basically make shit up off the top of your head, put in whatever inspiration happens to be around you, tie it all together in a neat little bow, and present a package that is far greater than the sum of its parts would lead you to fucking believe it could be.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things we're going to be reviewing tonight is actually a documentary about Larry Cohen, and to be perfectly honest, personally, after watching it, I got you as a filmmaker. I actually kind of went, I understand now all those times that I've been standing in front of a camera and there's been no specific stuff, it's just been generalization and it works. And just...
Well, I find if you overscript stuff sometimes, it gets...
complicated.
You're not letting the character be the character. You're letting the character be what you want the character to be. And what the initial scope of the character is can totally change when you have an actor who gets completely into the role and you can bring a new kind of direction to it, and you mightn't think of that direction when you're writing it, and if he's bogged down with fucking script, it throws him off a bit. Sorry, I've gone Larry Cohen on it. I'm just going to
it's actually hilarious because after seeing the documentary and after comparing what I learned in that to what I know about you, all of a sudden I'm kind of like, it's the ECW wrestling style once again, whereby the guy comes along and tells all of these actors, okay, here's the general gist. Be yourself doing this, and let's run with it.
No, be that guy doing this, and let's run with it. Or in some cases, be that guy in an airport that we don't have permission to film in, throwing luggage all over the place, and if the cops show up, you're meant to be here.
Yeah. There were several instances where basically just having the spine, the willpower, and the not give a fuck attitude to just go ahead and do stuff allowed him to do stuff with everyone around him believing that they were allowed to be doing that stuff purely because no one's stopping them from doing whatever the smeg they're doing at the time. Car chases in the middle of New York, people deliberately almost being tricked into believing that there is mass panic caused by whatever the hell they're shooting. Or I think in one instance, a guy nearly got jumped because in one scene he's running along with a kid.
Oh, it looks like he kidnapped a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets proper attacked, and then Larry Cohen had to come over and explain everything and get the fuck away before any cops showed up. Hashtag filmmaking.
Yeah, it's...
The child was aware he was going to get kidnapped, and the actor was aware he was going to get kidnapped. It was just the hundreds and hundreds of unpaid, very concerned bystanders that had no idea anyone was filming anything. Is where the thing went. And met some follies. Like one would.
No. You had to pay to get permits to shoot at the St. Patrick's Day parades alone. Like, holy crap.
Screw that. Just put Andy Kaufman in a... put Andy Kaufman in a costume and just send him out there.
Yeah. It was hilarious too. It was the fucking law was sort of Andy, how are you? And just continuing on with things.
Well, if you think about it from a smart directorial standpoint, back then would have been like Andy Kaufman at one of the heights of his thing, where Andy Kaufman was renowned for just showing up, doing random shit, and there was probably most likely a camera crew behind him. When he was like the slightly more well-received Tom Green of the 80s. For lack of a better term. Thank you. He's like the slightly better received Tom Green of the 80s, and people were just like, if you walked into a shop and saw Tom Green dressed as a banana trying to rape some fucking mangoes or something in the fruit section, you'd be like, oh yeah, Tom Green. Oh, you all right there, Tom? How's she getting on?
I'd still be kind of
new TV show I see.
I'd still be kind of keeping a respectful distance at the same time, just in case there's no camera around and Tom Green's off his meds or something.
Or in case mangoes aren't the only thing he's in the mood for.
That would be another good reason, and one that hadn't occurred to me until just now, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
That went to a dark place, dude.
I go to dark places very quickly.
Cohen, as we said, basically pioneered the idea of what became known as guerrilla cinema, whereby, much like gonzo journalism, the idea is to basically take as much inspiration from what's around you, pack it in together.
If you want it, you shoot it. And it doesn't matter what it takes to shoot it, just fucking shoot it.
Present your vision, whatever the fragging way you want to present it, because at the end of the day, you're the one telling the story. And
like, the man on occasion was known to be doing a film, and the studios, which studios are known to do, get completely over handsy and over involved and start completely changing the movie. And Larry will just walk off the project, rewrite a new script, because he was that quick with stories. He could just fire a script out. He could just write out a new script that was pretty much the exact same storyline with a couple of little story arcs changed here and there and characters' names changed, and get it shot, edited, and out before the studio had finished shooting the picture that they'd hired him on initially. So you just had to take Larry's vision as was Larry's vision, or Larry will go off and shoot his own vision, and then F you and F you.
I found it awesome how, like, he was talking in the documentary about how pretty much a typical day on the set, like, for any given couple of scenes, he would actually just sit there and rewrite the scene and be like, what do you think about this, until he found the shot that he wanted.
Yeah, or other times where they'd be in the middle of doing a scene and just something would pop into his head, and all of a sudden he's telling an actor or an actress, okay, do this and say this, or do that and do it in this way, and slightly different take on things, and just runs with it. And once again, people are kind of left going, I don't know if this is going to work. And then all of a sudden, the finished result is, well, actually, yes, that worked really, really well.
I feel it's like you and me sometimes, where I'm saying this gobbledygook at you. It's because I'm trying to compress the full idea into something that won't take 20 million hours for me to explain. But if you just shut the fuck up and let me do my thing, it'll eventually be like, oh, I totally get what you were trying to do there now.
And it's happened on more than one occasion.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Well, I did that wrong. Okay, 2 seconds. Anyway, Larry. Or wait, no, not scary. Take the games. That's it. Nearly there. Slower than usual.
To be perfectly honest, Larry Cohen as the director kind of more or less slowed up in the last couple of decades, but he has continued to fire out scripts to various different places. I think, in his own words, it's like every day be doing something. So whether it's writing a script, sending it out, getting in contact with new people, finding out about new projects, constantly doing stuff. And to be perfectly honest, like,
yeah, he's constantly on the convention scene too. He's very accessible and someone that you can easily meet and talk to.
Yeah, I mean, even like I said, some of the shots in the documentary showed him at the convention scene.
Hope is up with him going to the convention.
Yeah, and clearly very approachable. Clearly just sitting there kind of going, I'm here, come on over, no bothers.
Come and adore me.
Yeah, he actually says that.
He does, yeah, he does. Yeah. And you should, because he's a freaking legend. Do Facebook. Oh yeah, we need the old .com. And we need... Sorry, I'm talking out loud, sorry. Doing my Bob Ross.
You are not whacking off.
I'm not going to whack it off again on camera, don't worry.
Never again.
I feel like I have to now, so they know what I'm on about. Pardon the pun, but like a very bad picture has been painted of me here in the last 15 seconds.
Well, you are reading Bob Ross.
What? Are you speaking about that? That man can paint like a wizard. You just get a little V up there. That's a little birdie. Just get a couple of little birdies. Little birdies there. Little meridian blue.
Okay.
Bob Ross. Don't speak of Bob Ross in front of me. I will fight a man.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, my knowledge of Larry Cohen, as I said, when it comes to the stuff he's done is rather limited.
You thought until you started researching.
I was going to say, insofar as knowing exactly what stuff he has written, directed, contributed to, it's basically, there's so many things there. You could look through a list of his work and kind of go, seen it, oh, he did that. And then But
if he didn't shoot it, he wrote it. And if he didn't write it, he produced it. And if he didn't do one of those things, he was probably doing all three.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And he had his fingers in so many genres: comedy, westerns, Blaxploitation, horror.
I like it. I like
very versatile director.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, and once again, one of the reasons that we all love horror is its versatility when it comes to presenting stories. And Cohen kind of used that same versatility when it came to a lot of the stories that he produced, whereby if you were able to kind of, if you were to sit down and watch a bunch of his stuff, you would see similar themes recurring, or you would see similar takes on different themes. The two films that we're going to be reviewing tonight, apart from the documentary, mainly focus on, I suppose, corruption. One of them is, you can point to it and say corruption and the influences of politics when it comes to manipulating situations. The other one then is the manipulations of the media and the food industries, really, and how over time people are just... advertising, and how over time people are just basically turned into the same monotonous zombies that we have seen parodied in so many other films since.
But not
in the same
aspect.
Not in the same way. It's one of the hallmarks of Cohen's movies is that you can sit down and on the surface of it, you might be watching a cheesy B movie, But then all of a sudden you're kind of going, there's some really, really poignant stuff in these films. And what's more, because they're cheesy, they've acquired this cult following which has allowed them to last this long. And as a result, you can sit down and you can watch the films, the 2 films mainly that we reviewed. You can sit down, you can watch them, you can actually say, wow, if not for the camera work, the setting, and the costume and everything else like that, these stories could very well be presented in modern day times and be just as applicable with the message the message behind the outlandishness as they were back then. Especially, like I said, especially the 2 films that we're picking, because I mean, when is there not corruption in any form of government?
Absolutely, like the stuff's message is timeless as far as relevance to what's going on then as to now, because it's the same thing, and people haven't woken up to that yet.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Oh, well, that's because part of modern society is to be put to sleep by everything that is shoved into your face.
I would totally agree with that before I finish doing social media sharing, because I think we should start moving on to movies soon, because we don't want to give away too much about the legend that is Larry Cohen, because otherwise you won't go out and watch the documentary.
Which is really freaking...
I'm going to do a bit of a quick review on the actual specifics of the documentary, if that's okay.
Work away. I was expecting you to take the helm on most of this anyway.
Yep, sorry, you can blame internets for that. Basically, what I really liked about this documentary is usually when you see a documentary about someone like this, it gets very hoity-toity and it's very, he's so good. Now, don't get me wrong, everyone's praising Larry, but it's Larry's sheer mentalness and brilliance through craziness that is adorned and loved throughout this. And what I really liked about this was I'd nearly swear he must be involved in the actual documentary, because the documentary is as fast-paced and as quick-flowing as any Larry Cohen movie.
Well, it was probably by design to emulate it.
Yeah, it's just, you're never sitting on any guy too long. There's always very quick to this, very quick to that. And there's never a shortage of stories or needing someone to waffle, because Larry Cohen has caused 12 million incidences of hilarity through film throughout his 50-year career.
Yeah, I think one of the funnier ones was they're interviewing John Landis at one point, and he's
Love
talking
that
about when they were shooting Trading Places, and they're outside one of their locations, and they've got like cops around keeping back crowds or whatever because high production value, and all of a sudden all the law boys are like, we have to go. What? Yeah, we have to go. We'll be back in a little bit. And about 45 minutes later they return, and it turns out, some maniac was shooting off guns at the top of the Chrysler building. That, of course, would be fucking Larry Cohen filming for Q, the Winged Serpent, and once again, absolutely no fracks given whatsoever to the notion of permits. It's just a case of, hey, there's guys here, there's canopies here, we got the steeplejacks, they got the cranes all sorted, let's give them fucking uniforms and guns and have them firing, and there's a bunch of off-duty cops with hirers and extras, and bring them all up, and sure, all the guns are loaded with blanks, and apparently the only reason he wasn't arrested was because there was I think yawnings out further on down the building, and so the majority of the shells landed in them rather than raining down on New York. But even still, it was enough to cause a bit of a panic, and of course Larry being Larry, once notified of this panic, the very first thing he does is go get a camera and film it.
To kind of jump on. Oh, sorry, guys.
No, you're all right.
To kind of jump on what Johnny was saying, the film goes hour and 47 minutes, but boy, is it brisk.
Yeah, it flies by. I even had to stop myself at one stage. I was like, how far into this fucking thing am I? And I was like, what? Because it's like a mind assault. It's like, I feel like a lot of information has been absorbed in a very short space of time.
Yeah, the knowledge is vast.
Yeah.
And it's very informative, and like the stories from the people that Cohen worked with are amazing.
But it's like outside of just how informative it is, the way the information is delivered, and it's so entertaining that, like, this is one of those documentaries that you'll watch, and a day or two later, if someone starts asking you about Larry Cohen, you're just going to start rattling off all these facts, because they just it's like those teachers that teach you stuff through song, because it kind of goes into your head a little bit more. there was a nice kind of melody as such to the flow of the movie. I think it just tends to go.
I was able to talk for a good 5 or 10 minutes there, just based on stuff that I figured out that I learned from watching that documentary. So yeah,
Thank you, documentary.
thank you,
Thank
very
you,
much.
documentary. And I think
Thank you very much.
we're going to cut to a trailer for the Larry Cohen documentary, and then
Yeah.
we're going to come back and we're going to talk about. We'll tell him what we're going to talk about when we come back. But
Okay.
enough is enough. I'm going to leave it at that. Enough is enough.
Enough.
And we'll
is
talk about it when we come back. Before we go to the trailer for King Cohen, I've got me some dates here. So, King Cohen's going to be having his theatrical run from July 27th, including Los Angeles and New York. And there's also, I spat myself there. There's also special event screenings of the film will also be held throughout July and August in cities including Asheville, VA, and Yonkers, New York, courtesy of Dark Star Pictures. I forgot a comma there. Yonkers. Courtesy of Dark Star Pictures.
Fair enough.
There we go. Well, enough of that. We're going to go on to the trailer for King Cohen, where you're going to get a very good indication as to why myself, Giz, and Mr. Rotty P up there think this is so goddamn entertaining.
Anybody here like me?
If you had never seen a Larry Cohen film, you're going to be in for some really radically unique entertainment.
Larry started as a writer, eventually became a director to protect Larry the writer.
Yeah, shut up. We don't need all this bullshit.
Wow, what was that?
Larry Cohen is so much the invisible man. It's entirely possible to have seen a lot of his work without knowing you were seeing his work.
His movies have this energy and this tact.
Larry Cohen is like the white Martin Luther King for movies.
I don't know what Blaxploitation means. Every movie is exploitation. So what?
He's a madman, but he makes these great little films.
There's a brilliance, there's a childish naughtiness about him.
He would do things that were dangerous. Larry would not only shoot in the streets of New York, he would drive cars up on the sidewalk on the streets of New York.
This is New York City. They just get out of the way when you're coming. I would go down to an area with 5,000 policemen and shoot a movie without permission.
But Larry gave himself permission.
Shell cartridges were raining down into the streets of New York. People think that there's a terrorist attack. And he goes, get a cameraman and shoot somebody panicking.
And then the next day, there were articles about it. And I went, oh, Larry, you know.
What you're really seeing is somebody who looks deeply at the present moment.
Larry's movies are not necessarily subtle. They're thoughtful. They're reflections of the world around him and the problems in that world.
All the movies I do take something which is considered benevolent and turning it into some kind of monstrosity.
What?
Every time I make a movie, they always tell me, that's not the way it's done, but I do it and it works.
He is the true independent filmmaker. His jump out of the chopper, run and gun.
Larry is the best guerrilla filmmaker in the business.
A wild, maverick sense in the tradition of the handmade picture.
He trusts his actors and they trust him.
The greatest daredevil Hollywood has ever seen.
The reality of life is you don't know all the answers. You don't know why these things occur. Let's face it, anybody will put up with anything if they think a movie is being shot.
All right, welcome back, Gorecasters. That's the end of the. I've just noticed when you have Skype interviews equal way more things on the screen. I wonder if that has something to do with it, actually.
Distinct probability, yeah.
But it won't let me, like, if I X out of that, the camera goes away. And if I X out of that,
He goes away.
well, no, full Skype comes up.
Oh,
Blocking the whole screen.
okay.
Maybe I can just move these down here. That'll help. Just move these down out of the way. Okay, cool. Okay.
Right.
We'll take a look at the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. If we don't get to your comments today, don't hold it against me because
Things are
loading up very, very slow. But so
Yeah.
far we have Catherine's in. Hello. Hey, Cat. Johnny Deadly. No, that's me. Charlene's in. We said hello to her when she arrived at the studio. Katie McNeil's in. Hello.
Hey, Katie.
Jane O'Doherty's in. We haven't seen
Hello,
you in a
Jane.
while. Jane, hello. How are you? Eric
Eric
Biggs is in.
Hello, everyone.
Patty Quinn is in. Christina Lawrence is in. Darren McKenna's in. Owen Harvey and Molly. Hello, Molly. And
Molly and Shane can't make it.
Molly and Shane can't make it. Oh. Molly and Shane are like our number one fans, and we love them wholeheartedly.
We get everyone to wave at them because they actually
Yeah.
legitimately
Everyone wave at them anyway. They're going to watch it back. Everyone wave at Molly and Shane and hope to feel better. Hello, and feel better. And hello, Pam, who's upstairs with the dog. Out, under control, and out of the studio. More importantly, off the camera. First up, we decided to go for 1985. 1985's The Stuff from Larry Cohen. Which this is one of the Cohen. I wrote it, I directed it, I produced it.
It's my film.
Screw
my
you.
film. I'm going to do it my way.
The Stuff. If you haven't seen The Stuff is all about these guys who are in some sort of mining thing. You never find out what all the stuff is there for. They just appear to be mining in what appears to be a lot of snow. In some of that snow, there's a bit of a gloopy substance. They eat that gloopy substance, and from what I understand, it's tasty as shit. Actual tasty shit, not caca.
Okay, glad you clarified that one.
I thought so too, because it could be construed as... Anyway. And then people get really hooked on the stuff.
Yeah, they realise that this could, if there's enough of it, hey, cure world hunger or just make a bit of a profit. All of a sudden, this stuff...
Surprise, surprise. They went for the profit instead of cure world hunger.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, this stuff is being marketed everywhere, and I mean everywhere. It's in everywhere. It's in every shop. It's in every home.
Enough is enough. You can't get enough of the stuff.
Yeah, it's... Really, it is becoming the number one food. In fact, the only thing that's being eaten. Like breakfast, lunch, dinner, wake up in the middle of the night.
You get a cup of stuff and put it in your bowl of stuff in the morning.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. Do you want some stuff to go with your stuff? Don't mind if I do, Mom. I love stuff.
And for the most part, everyone's actually really happy with this. Apart from, obviously, the ice cream merchants that are going out of business rather rapidly.
Yeah, and the yogurt salesmen. Yogurts are a bit on yogurt's on the decline.
Even
and meat's on the decline.
Even chocolate chip Charlie is going to be taken over by the end of the week.
Goddamn. Hashtag remember Charlie.
But to those ends, a bunch of these, what are we going to call them? Dairy Kings?
Yeah, okay. Dairy Kings.
We can't really call them Dairy Queens because that would be infringing on something else, I think.
You're correct there.
See? I know my American stuff.
Oh, what's Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen is like this American institution. I don't know what they do, but clearly it's got to do with dairy products.
And royalty.
And being the royalty of dairy products. Anyway, these dairy barons, dairy kings, whatever the frack you want to call them. Dairy Queen. Never heard of it. How the smeg have you not heard of a Dairy Queen with all the films and TV shows you've seen?
I know, that's why I'm asking the question. Because I'm more Americanized than Irish, to be blatantly honest.
Yeah. Anyway, fearing for their livelihoods, they decide to hire on former FBI...
I spell things with a Z, not an S.
It's not got to do with Dairy Queen.
Nothing to do with Dairy Queen, but just proving I'm Americanized. There's lots of words that we spell with an S that they spell with a Z, but I can't think of right now. So don't ask.
Anyway, as I was saying, they decide to hire on former FBI agent Dave Mo Rutherford. Is it Rutherford? Rutherford, there we go.
Why do they call him Mo? Because every time people offer me money, I'm always asking for Mo.
For Mo.
Good old Mo. Mo, Mo is the man.
Nobody could be as stupid as I look. One of the best lines in the entire fucking film, I think. That was right there, I think, summed up the character as he's presenting himself to these Dairy Kings, and one of them is a little bit hesitant, and then it turns out that this guy's so slick as snot that he managed to put a fucking hearing device into the pocket of your man's coat the night before when he just happened to be wandering through his fucking hotel room.
Slick as fuck.
Slick as snot.
Slick as snot. I thought you were like, slick as fuck.
No, slick as snot. Farscape.
I was going to ask, was that like F-A-C-K?
No.
It's a redundant question now because... Anyway, moving on. I'm having one of those nights, because...
Yeah. Mo quickly discovers that the stuff is not all it's cracked up to be, and soon realizes that it might be in everyone's best interest if maybe this stuff wasn't actually around anymore, and so starts digging further soon encounters a young boy named Jason who, upon realizing that the stuff moves and is fracking alive, tries to amscray from the family that are very much possessed by the stuff. He also, also in the course of his investigations...
His family, they couldn't get enough of the stuff.
Yeah. Also in the course of these investigations, Mo is introduced to Nicole, there we go, who is the head of the advertising agency that has basically put the stuff absolutely fucking everywhere.
I would bring up our notes page, but I'm afraid the computer will explode.
Yeah. The film is, to be perfectly honest, it is satirical the entire way through, and it kind of needs to be. It's the only way that you can legitimize having this goopy substance being a threat.
Like a lot of the Larry Cohen movies, there was this tongue-in-cheekiness to them here and there. Even Maniac Cop had a little bit of a...
Yeah. But overall, the satirical nature allows for the very real message of media manipulation, of food industry manipulation, bringing to light the fact that at the end of the day, we are shoving all kinds of crap into our bodies and into our brains and into our fucking mindsets and way of thinking that's just being shoved at us.
I prefer to call them brain boxes.
It's just being shoved at us, and we're being told, it's good for you, it's how you're supposed to think, it's how you're supposed to be. And the thing is, that's a really poignant and still very, very, even more relevant today than it probably was back in the 80s. Well, no, the 80s were fairly fucking commercial now that I think about it.
They even posed the question on there, are you eating it or is it eating you?
Yeah, and that's still something that's relevant today. I mean, you look at some of the medications, some of the food that's around.
Some of the beverages.
I have used that stuff to clean a Jack's. I mean, I poured bleach, I poured drain cleaner, nothing worked. I pour in a fucking...
I like the way we won't put the can on.
I poured 1.5 liters of Coke into that thing, and all of a sudden it was clean as a whistle after about...
Cola, not Coke. It's cola. You poured 1.5 liters of cola.
Hey, it was...
Non-branded, non-associated cola. Cola.
But effectively fucking carcinogenic. Well,
effectively carcinogenic.
Not carcinogenic.
Highly acidic.
Effectively acidic. That's where we're going. Because carcinogenic means it causes cancer. And can't.
Cola.
Yeah. How the fuck did that devolve into that?
Because that's actually the intention. Good segue. That's actually the intention of the stuff, is to have that kind of commercial kind of consumerism drilled into your brain. Like if you actually
grip on society.
Like if you actually look at the advertising campaign, which wasn't a far stretch from advertising campaigns in the 80s. Anyway, just loads of good looking, or 90s, or the 2000s.
Interesting point, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Slightly outside the normal realm of a Larry Cohen film, this time they actually thought about stuff first and went along and prepped stuff first. Like hiring on an advertising agent to actually come up with the look of the stuff and the jingle and all that. Actually hiring an advertising agent to do all the advertising that's done in the film.
Yeah, and hiring an advertising agent to make the stuff. Well, they made the stuff.
Yeah, it was
because you can buy the stuff.
And the design for that cup with the purple and the pink and the red with the marshmallow design of the words, the stuff is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's what I liked about it was you can turn it on, and you'd know it's 80s. Like the marketing campaign that they use for the stuff is 80s. Even the colouring and the branding.
Outside the tracksuit pants. I forgot that was a thing.
Outside the tracksuit pants.
I forgot that was a thing.
We can't say anything. We had crisscross when we were in the fucking 90s where they just wore shit backwards.
Sorry, I'm
the same. I never put my pants on backwards in my life. Do you remember Zig and Zag when they used to put their shoes on backwards because crisscross is when they'd fall over? Good times. Youth. Hashtag gone.
Zig and Zag are legends. Inspiration.
They're still around.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, much more adult capacity from what I understand.
But anyway, yeah, this film is chock full of the 80s is the only way of putting it. I mean, everything about the 80s can almost be boiled down and presented in the form of the stuff. The over-the-top commercialism, the near mindless addiction to whatever is shoved in front of you.
Yeah.
the complete and utter apathy at first when it comes to people, individuals pointing out, hey, this stuff, this
you
is
don't like this stuff? This stuff is great. The television show told me this stuff is good. How can't you like this stuff? Everybody else likes the stuff. One of us. One of us.
The kid,
one of us.
I love
one
how
of
when
us.
the kid went crazy in the shopping centre, it took 3 adults.
I pointed out as well, I was like, how strong is this 8-year-old? Because he is, or 10-year-old, sorry.
He was nippy.
He was.
Nippy is what he was.
He got up and kicked that other guy in the face fairly lightly.
He did, yeah.
I give him credit where credit's due. Well, you see, it's because the shop assistants, they can't do. Like, if he came at me, I'm just going to punch that 10-year-old in the face.
Yeah.
Probably to try and find the internet in a defensive manner.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's laughing because she knows it's true. If a 10-year-old ran with me aggressively with a stick. That's it. Well, 10-year-olds are mug of people over here, man. Hordes of them.
What?
Yeah.
So, also, like, Larry Cohen, the stuff is a good example of how Larry Cohen's very good at, like, keeping his, like, he has his monster, which is the stuff. And the shots that the stuff is actually in doing its thing are very high impact. For example, the scene where the guy opens the stuff and it takes him up the wall and then the stuff is all expanded everywhere. Oh, that is an amazing shot. And he's really good at keeping to his budget, but showing the best parts of the monster when it needs to be shown.
Yeah, well, he was also a master of, like, when it came, like, if you looked at It's Alive, for instance, I know kind of by the end of the movie, the camera, or the monster baby ended up getting kind of a little more screen time because he just fallen in love with the monster. But initially, it was all very, very smart camera angles. You just saw an arm, or you just saw the tip of the face, or you saw the baby's arm coming from behind the camera, or he was shooting reverse angles and stuff, and showing you the monster, but without ever showing you the monster, but giving you a full, terrifying feel for this monster. And the stuff was same. Most of the time, it's just white goop in a tub. But when you do see the stuff do its stuff, you bloody well remember it.
Fire extinguisher foam taking out a wall.
Fire extinguisher foam taken out a wall, which I still to this. I was trying to work it out how the fuck they did that.
Oh.
They obviously shot one of those, like, do you know where they have in a studio where they have, although we wouldn't have had a fucking studio. I don't know how he shot it. Like, I would have assumed it was one of those, do you know the rooms where they have it on the side, so if you're filming it looks like he's going on the roof, but he's actually not on the roof, he's on the wall, or something like that. I thought they did that, and then just kind of very smartly just put the 2 guys in the corner to add a bit of realism, but I was just like, it's a bit of a high budget move.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, that's such a great scene because you're like, how is it pushing this human up? It's just fucking foam. It's just fucking foam.
Once again, knowing and realising that for the most part this stuff is being done on a shoestring, it is things like that you're like, I don't know how you did that with what you're fucking working with, but well done. I wasn't expecting that, but there was a couple of parts
where there was a respectable enough budget with the stuff.
It wasn't that. It's
they had like $1 million for that, didn't they?
Yeah. It wasn't. The stuff wasn't one of his smaller budget ones. Oh. But he still would make $2 million's worth of a movie. Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality that you got for that $1 million cannot be overstated.
Man, 100%. And I mean, I think it says something about the way cinema's gone a little bit today now. That it's like, oh, this movie cost $100 million, did it? Yeah, because like, I'm just seeing a load of very bad computer-generated effects and a guy that can't act.
And a script that is basically been regurgitated for its fourth fucking time.
Not even. Do you know what? I'm going to put the pin in the fucking donkey now. Stop. It's not even just regurgitated scripts. The major issue is that everything's gone so fucking politically PC these days that you can't have an edgy script if you have an edgy script, you're going to get abused on the internet. It's why I don't know how we still have a show.
Because we abuse back. That sounded worse than
Did you hear that, internet?
Oh, it knows.
Hear that, internet?
It knows. Yeah.
It does know, which is why we've got zero bandwidth right now. Oh, did you push back to the internet? Watch the internet. Pop.
Crap, I had something in my head and I forgot it.
We were talking about Larry Cohen.
I'm aware of that.
More specifically, the stuff.
That
we were
was-
on about how $1 million budget.
Okay, so you know the way he would have had a tendency to kind of ad-lib stuff and kind of push actors in a certain...
Yeah.
There were one or two scenes, especially when they have to set fire to the stuff in the motel room.
Yeah.
I'm looking kind of going, I wonder how close those flames actually got.
I won't lie to you. That came across my mind a little bit. Also, when he was burning the thing off his face, I felt a little bit like, that's on there.
That's
pretty on there. That's pretty on there. Say he wasn't having to roll around in fear accidentally.
I was...
With the fire on the face.
I was, for a couple of seconds, legitimately kind of going, how did they get it to squirt up the wall? Until I realised, wait a second. Look at the direction of the flame. Camera's upside down and it's all pouring down. You moron. But cool little tricks like that are all it takes to give you really good effect at times. Especially when done and handled the right way. Good camera angles. As I said, the fact that you've got actors that are willing to quite possibly put their lives on the line for their work.
I'm not being rude here, by the way, people. It's just that I'm finding it hard to keep track of the comments feed on the computer because everything's so slow. So I'm just trying to catch up with people here before we move on a little bit. The stuff.
For those of you that haven't seen it, without revealing too much of the detail, it's quite frankly, it is a very, very, very poignant look at the advertising industry, at the food and drug industry, and quite frankly, at anyone that basically tells you this is what you should be doing, eating, saying, thinking, whatever.
Because quite a lot of the time, they're talking stuff.
Yeah, and it's presented, like I said, it's presented in a rather satirical way, which allows you to accept the stuff as being the threat that it is, and also allows for some really over-the-top characters to be accepted as well for face value. Like Paul Sorvino as Colonel Spears, he's just like this pure, I'm an American, we're going to take back this country from the commies, and it's
Darren McKenna has a valid point about what I said there. Sorry to interrupt, do you know what I was saying about the TV and no original scripts to it? That's because all the good writers are gone to television.
Also
I'll
true,
accept
I suppose.
that.
Yeah.
I'll accept that because for some reason you can get away with it on TV.
Yeah, but there's still, while all the good writers may have gone to television, there's still an awful lot of terrible writers just puking up the same crap every fucking...
Yes, that's true. As Yusuf aptly pointed out, Sons of Anarchy is just fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah, the stuff will always be an excellent time capsule into the 80s and what was going on during then.
Well, like I said, it's also a very good reflection of what's going on right now, which I think is one of the reasons why it's still...
Agreed.
Why it's got a cult following. Any film...
Absolutely.
I think, to be perfectly honest, if you look at any of the films that we say are cult followings, 9 times out of 10,
Because they're still applicable now.
Yeah, they're mad, they're cheesy, but their underlying stories are still fucking
They're
poignant.
cross-generationally effective.
Because
would
at
be
the
the
end,
word, I think.
because at the end of the day, there are some aspects of human nature that just will not be changed, no matter how many times you want to punch a fucker in the face.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. What time are we? We're hitting 12 o'clock, so we're going to move on. There was a lot of delay. I think we started late enough. There was a lot
Have
of
we
delays.
done trailer for the stuff yet?
No, we haven't done a trailer for the stuff. We're going to do a trailer for the stuff, and then there'll also be an ad break from our homeboys on American Horrors, who we're going to be talking about a little bit later at the end of the shit. So, yeah, we got to move on because I just remembered we need to talk about the Masters of Horror. I need to download that trailer, balls.
Okay.
Anyway, the stuff. Oh.
No! Don't eat that! I saw it moving in the refrigerator.
Here, Jason. Take some.
There is something alive in there.
They're good for us, Jason. They kill the bad things inside us.
It must be a side effect of eating too much dessert.
kill you all!
Hey, wait. We are not alone.
Tonight, America is in grave danger.
So are you prepared to say on the air that you've actually seen people devoured by the stuff?
Oh, hell yes. And what's worse, I've seen what's left of them when the stuff gets through and comes back out.
Coming soon for you, the stuff from New World Pictures.
And we're back from the stuff. Just to let you know
of that wonderful stuff.
You can't get enough of this stuff. Just to let you know, just so no one accuses us of misleading anybody or anything, that movie came out in 1985, so it's probably not going to be in theaters soon. Done.
Unless there's somebody in a cinema doing a Larry Cohen marathon or something.
Conventionally.
Nice.
Conventionally. Although, actually, you never know, they could start, that'd be a very cool way of doing those screenings if you had a couple of Larry Cohen movies playing in the documentary.
Hey, he was on about the double features and everything.
Yeah. Man, I miss double features. They were a thing. They would have been great. Well, we in general missed double features because we're in fucking Ireland. But they look like great fun.
Oh, yeah, with the trailers and all the extra vignettes that were added to it, that would have been a wonderful time.
Jane O'Doherty is a greenie. One would assume about the stuff being a great movie.
Yes.
Really wish I had a glass of water.
Oh, wait.
Awesome. That's great.
Magic. And the assistance of our studio audience. Thank you, studio audience.
Necronomicon for the win.
Hooah! Oh, crap. I left that open again.
Nothing says tasty water like demonic water. That's what I say.
If you sprinkle demon water on an angel, will they,
I don't know. For 2 valid reasons. 3 valid reasons, actually. Of A, never actually met an actual angel. B,
that you know of.
Never had any actual demon water. I've had plenty of things that have been called demon water and could be misconstrued as demon water, but aren't actually, in reality, demon water.
One substance.
And thirdly, and
most
most importantly, I've never had either of those components of the previous 2 options in the same area for me to do it. But next time I am torturing a demon or an angel, I will make sure to try and acquire some demon water and let you know.
I'm sure they'd be willing to give it up for, the right cause. Or the wrong cause, or whatever way they want to put it.
I'm not giving up my soul to get demon water, to fire it at an angel that I'm probably not going to meet, to find out that it's just like...
Dude, they'd give it to you for free if they knew it was going to be hurting an angel. It's kind of like,
right?
I'm sure... In all the folklore and mythology of the millions and billions and trillions of, well, hundreds and thousands of years of religion, thousands of years of religion, 2,000 years of religion. I can't remember where I was going with this. Oh yeah, if demons had water that was going to affect an angel, I'm sure it would have come up by now. Like, even in all of your magical worlds of comic books, have you ever come across?
Yes.
I can't say that I have.
Me neither. So, there you go.
Anyway, back to the subject at hand.
Next up, which we aren't going to be too long on, and I don't have a trailer for because we played the trailer before, and I don't want to... but is a very valid topic of this because Larry Cohen was very much involved in this production, and it's also part of one of my Giz's favourite series, known as Masters of Horror, where they got 13 awesome horror directors and went, hey, direct us an hour-long movie there, and we'll put that on the television, and then we'll take that to cinemas, and we'll play it around, and people will be like... And they were.
Yeah.
And Larry Cohen wrote... wrote Pick Me Up, which was also one of myself and Giz's favourite episodes, because as you two aptly pointed out, it's killer versus killer.
Yeah, it's basically everyone's favourite game. Who's the better killer?
But Rotty also is a major fan of this and has a little bit of a story about how they got Mr. Moriarty involved into the project.
Absolutely. So, Michael Moriarty is a longtime collaborator with Larry Cohen. He was on some of his films, including The Stuff. A very good character actor, but he's also been known to be very hard to work with. But that's never been the case with Larry Cohen. And I remember checking out the actual documentary on Masters of Horror and them talking a little bit about Moriarty having a bad reputation and being hard to work with. And so they were a little bit skeptical about getting him on set. But they actually got him on set. And I mean, he is such a fantastic character actor. I mean, his role in there really stands out.
I think it's probably...
I'm sorry, guys.
I think your audio is breaking out there for a sec. What were you saying?
The last thing I was saying about that was, like, when you watch his performance in it, you really get the feeling that that's not a human there. It's like an animal or like a wolf, really, in human clothing.
Yeah, 100%. He's the, as was so aptly described in Fight Club, I believe, was the predator posing as a house pet. Oh, hey, you going, what, you stuck for a lift now? Why don't you get up on in here? I'll give you a lift up the road. Stabbity, 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 stab. Yeah. Back at the truckety, freeze. Hangity, hangity, hangity.
I just cannot stress it enough that if you are going on a Larry Cohen exploration or a marathon, that this should be one of the films that you go to because it's such a fun watch.
Yeah. It's a great watch, and it's an absolutely, you can tell it's a Larry Cohen story because there's this little bit of humour through the script that kind of keeps everything carrying, even though it's nothing that's actually funny. It's just how people are reacting to the situations that are unfolding in front of them.
It's black humour.
And there's more twist in the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
There's more twist in the toilet bowl. And when you're about halfway through the episode and you get full clarification that what you've probably assumed earlier in the episode is completely right, you just go, well, this is going to be a fuck ton of fun. And it is.
Yeah, it's another.
Absolutely.
It's another example of
get the popcorn out, lads. Get the feet up. Watch some guys murder some dishes.
It's also,
dude's actually going to think of it. Sorry.
It's another great example of Larry Cohen coming up with over-the-top characters that, while they are over the top, you still totally believe them. You know, I mean,
they're that magical level of over the top where they're just so over the top that it's still real.
Yeah.
Without getting into like, oh, that's totally Hollywood. Like you could like Larry Cohen over the top stuff is something that you're like, right set of circumstances, I could see someone popping the fuck off like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Hey, and thanks for letting me gush about that one a little bit, guys.
No, it's totally okay.
It's truly something that needs to be talked about.
Great episode.
It's a great episode. No, blanking. Sorry, went out of my head there what I was going to say. That was pretty much finished up on pickup.
I think so. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so seeing as that was kind of a little short one, and I didn't have a trailer, we're going to cut to the ad break from our homeboys at American Horrors, Heart D. Fisher's American Horrors. Horror movies, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, uncut all the time. AmericanHorrors.com or American Horrors Roku. Or I could just go to the advert and let in tell everyone in a much finer way. Kabush.
Lads, I'm so fucking bored. Weird. I don't remember turning the TV on.
Welcome to the new American Horrors channel on Roku. Streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all night, all day, all horror. Hi, I'm Heart D. Fisher. As owner and operator of the world's greatest uncut 24 hours a day, 7 days a week horror channel, American Horrors, it's my job to let you know that I'm choking to death on this smoke. Okay, we're still rolling, right?
Sorry, I forgot that was auto looping. Good old Johnny. Johnny Jim John. This is also very apt the next movie that we have coming up, because one of the main character from it has just retired. The main character of his life, really, I suppose, would be the best.
One of them.
One of them. Yeah, but it would be his main character of life. Let's be fair. Call a deadite a deadite.
That's why a demon's a demon and a deadite is a deadite.
Damn straight. I'll hang ahead. For Ash, we'll give it 3. No, it wasn't. It's too early. You were like, you're fucking hell, not bad. The next movie up we have is 1988's Maniac Cop. Which this is brilliant. This is like slasher deliciousness. You've got a Maniac Cop. You've got a Maniac Cop. Not unlike what goes into a lot of the stories with a good slasher. A good backstory that gives him a reason to be out there. Not unlike Jason. You drown me. You kill my mama. Right in front of me. And you're riding all around me. And I'm too ugly to get laid. And now I'm pissed. I'm hacking people. And same as Michael Myers. I had a weird thing. Yeah, that's it. That's it, 100%. And Maniac Cop is the same way. He got accused of a lady's murder. He went to prison where the prison was full of criminals and hardened people that he put away. And then they tried to give him a bit of a roughening up. And then he beat the shit out of those guys because he's the man. And then they caught him in the showers and sliced him up like a piece of bologna.
It's also because, he's played by Robert Sidar, who was a monster.
Robert Sidar is a very large man. Once. That's what I just said. Did I say it? Giz?
You said his.
I said Giz?
No, you said his.
Giz?
Wow. Anyway. As you were
He
saying,
has a very pronounced face. You can't not recognize him when you see him in a film.
It's actually, if you think, because Bruce Campbell was in this as well, it was a movie of fantastic chins. That's what I meant to say. It was a chin of fantastic movies. Yeah, I'll take it. Either one.
Yeah.
Either one.
And then on top of that, you just throw in Tom Atkins. So you're just like, wow.
Yeah. I liked that too. Oh, Shane Ware is in. Hello, Shane.
Oh, hey, Shane.
Shane Ware joined. Everyone wave to Shane now. And feel better.
Yeah.
Nice, Rotty waved as well. That's international, not so international for you, Shane, because you're in America as well. I'm not exactly sure what state it was. I don't want to say it on here, but everyone's waved now. That's good. International waves.
So yeah, Maniac Cop basically sees this monster of a lawman going about the city of New York and just randomly whacking innocent civilians, because at the end of the day, nothing puts the shitners up the general public like a potential homicidal maniac cop. And more importantly, nothing puts a dampener on the police commissioner, and more importantly, the mayor's day, than a potentially homicidal maniac cop. So while they attempt...
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So while they attempt to kind of like downplay it and sweep it under a rug and handle everything in-house, you have Detective Lieutenant? Yes.
Yeah.
Detective Lieutenant Frank McCreary is insistent that there is definitely something going on.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a fucking cop and it's definitely some fucking monster of a cop, because this lady's neck was broken with
and her larynx.
Hands and
her windpipe. Basically
ragdolled.
Yeah, get a bottle of the plastic variety, crush that bottle, and that was her neck.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
As the killings increase, McCreary's insistence on trying to track down this killer also increases.
Yeah, because he's racking up numbers.
Yeah, but at first his approach to the situation isn't taken very seriously by the police commissioner, because he is considering that it could be actually a cop that's doing it, as opposed to just some dude dressed in a uniform.
Yeah.
However, once
due to certain things that he's done.
Yeah. However, once a few more bodies drop, and once a few failed attempts at capturing him, it's clear that this guy has inside knowledge. He's clearly a cop, or at least aware of police procedure. And at that stage, when they are still trying to cover it up and still trying to keep it under wraps, McCree just goes, screw this, for a tub of spin, hits up his hot, seeing her kind of news reporter chick friend.
Lawrence is her last name. Or Landon. Lauren Landon?
No, that's the female police officer.
Oh, okay. No, I got my blondes mixed up. Sorry.
So anyway, he leaks the information, the public gets wind of it, and all of a sudden everyone has a very valid excuse to put a bullet between a lawman's eyes should they walk up on you.
Yeah, because he's murdering people. And he's
It's him and he's not going to get me!
Terrible time for the cops.
Terrible time for the cops.
Terrible time for the cops. Because
Also-
criminals have guns.
Yep.
And cops have guns. And if you think the cops are going to murder you and you're allowed to kill them, probably will. Or they might lie and pretend that they were. And then they kill them anyway.
Also not a very good time for Bruce Campbell as
Jack Forrest.
Jack Forrest, yeah, that's it.
Jack W. Forrest.
Yep, whose marriage is on the rocks, whose wife is continuously worrying and almost...
Well, let's clarify. It's not just on the rocks. It's because he's humping.
You find that out later.
He's on a different shore.
Yeah, but at the time the wife
That's
thinks that he's...
fine.
At the time the wife thinks that he's
And
the
he
one going off to kill
feels
him.
bad about it.
He what?
He feels pretty bad about it, too.
He does when he gets caught, yes.
Yes, like a lot of people.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, it is, of course, a work colleague. And unfortunately, to make matters even more worse, after a rather loud argument with his wife, wherein she catches him literally in bed with the other woman.
And some handguns are drawn, and some lady
Threats are
parts
announced.
are waving around, and some threats are... Well, everyone's in the nip, aren't they? Bar the wife.
We don't actually see it.
You don't... Well, I meant like as in... I was trying to give a... She caught him mid-coitus, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There you go, to put it.
Unfortunately, she doesn't get to make life any more difficult for Forrest because before she can, quicker than you can say, I want a divorce, well, she's the next victim of the maniac cop.
She gets bad doing as well.
It's almost like there was a bit of a setup, though, to be perfectly
It
honest.
was almost like there was a bit of a setup. Mike's in. Demented Pictures, how are you, sir? Hello, Demented Pictures. He just went Rotty, ? It is Rotty. Rotty P is on the GORECAST tonight, Mike.
Yeah.
Told
Hey,
you.
what's going on, Mike?
Told you. I feel like sometimes, like, it's not just you now. I feel like sometimes no one listens to me.
I listen to you.
Sometimes.
I just don't always remember what you say. Yeah, that's right. This is reality. My mind doesn't pay attention to reality that much. Why do you think I'm so good at remembering films and stories and things?
Bon hour to you too, Mike.
Anyway. Where was I? Yes, that's it. Forrest is naturally... Yeah, Forrest finds out the following day that his wife was murdered.
Yeah.
When he is, well, quite actually arrested for the murder.
Yeah. Well, first he's accused of the murder, and then very promptly arrested of the murder. Although you can kind of tell by the reaction on his face that it's kind of like, I don't think he knew.
Some people are very, very good at faking reactions.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Hashtag. I feel like he died in a weird way.
Without going into too many more details of the film, once again, we are presented with a fantastic movie that manages to do two jobs at the same time.
Yeah.
Firstly, present you with a fun, turn your brain off slasher movie with a believable backstory for a very believable
I
killer.
wouldn't even call it fully turn your brain off. There's a nice little plot and then
No, bear with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So that's job one, right?
That's job one.
Job two, engage your brain with this fantastic
I
story
see what you did there. I wasn't expecting that.
that manages to incorporate multiple poignant lessons that need to be adhered to and remembered. Like, don't trust the fucking cops, and your government is always going to try and fuck you in the ass because, let's face it, it's run by individuals out for their individual gains.
Yes. That would be the life lesson to come away from it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Maniac Cop, on the surface, all-out butchery and brutality. Underneath,
80s slasher goodness.
Yeah.
Underneath, a very, very, very apt dialogue on the
still
social and
goddamn
governmental...
relevant.
Yeah, well it is, because everyone's government's fucking them up the ass. And as is proven by certain people that have worked for their country abroad, if you know what I mean, who come home. I'm trying to not get political, especially when it's shit that doesn't happen in our country, but like, do you know what I mean? There's people who go out there and fucking work for their country and stuff and they get completely ass fucked when they get home because it's kind of like, oh, well, you're not a number on my sheet anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common thing.
Cheers for defending cheers for defending freedom and the human race and all that. Thanks. Cheers for that.
Cheers.
Can I even keep the uniform? No, you can't keep the uniform.
Mrs. Lacey.
No, you can't keep the
But the cinematography on Maniac Cop is also fantastic. You really get that dark and gritty grindhouse feel throughout the film, which I personally enjoy.
It's, once again, I think that's one of the hallmarks of the 80s. There are a lot of films out there that when they want it to be dark and gritty back then, it's kind of like New York in the 80s, not somewhere you want to go out at night. And that's the general vibe through a lot of films, and really one that comes across in Maniac Cop. Not just because Maniac Cop is around, but also one of the very first things that we see is a woman being attacked by two muggers.
Yeah.
She does a very, very good job of fighting them off.
She does.
I was impressed
She does.
by it.
Roy Huckler Tyson.
Yeah. But once again, it just goes to the ability of Cohen to present the scene, and to be fair, to the ability
Mike Rydell says Jason Takes Manhattan. Need I say more?
That was
right.
Yeah.
And this film is just the beginning of a trilogy. If you guys out there in Horrorland didn't know.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I also have to say as well that the soundtrack throughout this and the score that he used, as per usual with a Leonard Cohen movie, everything just tied it together nicely. There was that nice kind of 80s electro, would you call it, I suppose. Yeah. And then the score, when the killing and the dangers happen, and there's just a nice build-up to everything, and it's not this just stupid loud noise jump scare, really nice music, loud noise jump scare, really nice music. There's this slow build, and there's even bits in a bit of a scene before where you can hear it start to build up, and then as you're getting to the scene, and that's a beautiful piece of everything.
They gave the Maniac Cop a cool little like theme song that plays throughout the series too. It's like this little whistle thing.
People, you see, this is the thing that people forget to make a good slasher. Every good slasher has their own little theme tune.
Actually,
damn right.
I think more importantly, what people. Okay, so here's a weird one, right? I've seen this film.
Like, if you think Freddy, 1, 2, 3.
Dude, that time I heard those kids singing that outside my window, that was hilarious.
Jason, you know, you have the. But it's actually supposed to be kill, 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 kill. One.
Huh. You learn something new every day.
But he put it through a reverb echo processor, and when it came out through the reverb, kill her, Manny, and then he broke down the first syllable, so it was and then when he put it through the echo synthesizer, it came out as.
Okay.
Yeah, big little Friday the 13th history.
Okay.
And then I went too long on Jason, but anyway, all the other ones have their own fucking theme tune as well. So it's a little something that Larry Cohen never misses, the little bits of salt and pepper that are supposed to be put on something.
Actually, what I really enjoyed it, like I was going to say, I've seen this film 2 or 3 times. Seen the second one.
Leatherface had a chainsaw. He didn't need a theme tune. Sorry.
I've seen this film multiple times. The second one is my personal favorite because I think that one just goes apeshit. And part 3, I could take it or leave it. I like some parts of it and some I don't.
Yeah, well, that's the typical thing with any franchise. The further in you go, the more questionable they become.
See, here's the thing that I keep forgetting every time I put on the film. Because you're watching a slasher movie, you have it in your head that they're just going to be going around randomly killing people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't occur to you that, that is one smart motherfucker. He has a plan. Mm-hmm. He has damn good tactics.
He does.
He has put in some very nice kills.
He is.
And he just laid a trap to get the heat off him. No, these are the things for me that make a good film. A bad guy that isn't just dumbass random death machine.
No. He's got a proper thought out methodology to everything. And I like the way
and it's great. He's a sympathetic slasher, which is absolutely ridiculous.
But the reason I keep mentioning about him in relation to all the other slashers are because he hits all of the little points that he's supposed to hit. If you look at all the greats, I'm trying to say the Maniac Cop should be much more appreciated. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think it's probably due to the lackluster receiving of the third film. You know yourself, a lot of times, especially back then, first film is great, second film, third film, woof. So as a result, it ends up tarnishing.
Not a lot of good number 3s.
True. As a result, it ends up tarnishing.
What the fuck did you turn that into?
Nothing. I just agreed with you and moved the fuck on.
Oh, you went. Okay. You had that sort of, oh, you've stunned me, but you don't know why.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Anyway, like I was saying, because the third film is often shite, it ends up tarnishing the rest of the series, because you're kind of thinking, that the latest film they brought out, that wasn't too good, and maybe the others aren't as good as I thought they'd be, because that latest one, that wasn't really. And as a result, I think that's probably the reason why a lot of people see Maniac Cop and kind of go, that just one of those cheesy slasher movies, probably wasn't that good. Yeah.
But they're all one of those cheesy fucking slasher movies. That's the fucking thing. That's why they're awesome. I do get what you're saying.
Yes.
I do get what you're saying. Don't worry. I'm just, remember, that's like my genre.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fun. No, but I do agree with you. I hate when people do that, though. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't get why people can't do what I like to call the Hulk offensive, as you know, which is, we made a movie called The Hulk with Eric Bana, and that's something.
It was a terrible mistake.
And then we came out with the one with Edward Norton.
But hang on a second. Firstly, that's not as applicable an analogy as you think.
But I just mean, why can't people just be like, okay, 3 suck nuts?
Move on.
Don't watch 3. 3 suck nuts. Okay.
What,
Yeah,
2
you,
or
you could leave it at 2 and it would be fine.
Yeah, I
There
know
is-
the first 2 were popular, and they made 3 just because they were hoping to carry on. And I appreciate the fact that Larry Cohen's smart enough that he went, well, this died in the stars, time to leave it. Instead of absolutely A-bombing the bloody franchise in general.
Yeah, it shows the level of character and integrity that he has.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy was all about the picture, wasn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was never about making money, and it was never about, I'm going to get this famous or I'm going to get to do this guy. It was about, I have this cool story. It's going to absolutely melt my fucking brain if I don't get to shoot it. I need to shoot it. And he used to say true to the story. And if, like, Maniac Cop, for an example, when the franchise took that little bit of a steer and the steer didn't work, okay, well, we're going to leave it at that, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
Opposed to Scream, for instance. One movie would have been great. Just saying. Many franchises. I do agree with you that many franchises get ruined by too much. So that's pretty much Maniac.
Yeah.
Round it off, I think.
Yes, I highly recommended. Y'all should see it.
We don't even tell people that anymore, because it's like, if we're putting it on the show, we're recommending it. Because if we thought it was shit, we actually won't. We won't.
Yeah, we just wouldn't bother.
No offense to anyone, we've never
got
brought it back. I don't think that's actually happened, though.
Nah. It's weird. Generally, we get good stuff.
I don't know. Well, technically, we got a documentary in this week.
Yeah!
That has Martin Scorsese,
Yeah!
John Landis, Larry Cohen,
what's his name? Williamson.
Eric
Roberts.
Eric
Fred
Roberts.
Williamson.
I fucking love that man.
Yeah.
I fucking love that man. I don't know why I love that man, but I fucking...
Because he can
He's
play,
a guy who'd go in my I drink with that man list.
Because he can play a cheesy bad guy fantastically.
Yes, he's the right level of cheesy bad
Yeah.
guy. And also, if you ever remember the martial arts movie that he was in, Best of the Best, he saved that fucking movie. He was like, none of us can act, but we can kick things.
Holy crap, I just remembered that now.
Uh-huh.
And what's his name from Reservoir Dogs was in it?
Yeah, he was in it as well.
Michael Madsen.
No, not Michael Madsen.
Nice Guy Eddie.
Yeah.
Can't remember the actors
Best of
actually.
the Best. There was 3 of those. One of which was, the third one was more like Rambo.
Yeah, it was...
He goes back to his home in...
crap. Sorry, I just
He goes back to his home in Vietnam, I think, or something, is it?
No, he's American. It's the Asian dude. He goes back to his hometown, and he's getting racial crap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I watched... Sorry, I just got a
Was it
flashback.
White
I watched
Supremacists or something?
or narrow-minded fucktards.
Can't remember.
I just got a flashback to being a kid and watching all 3 of those films back-to-back one day.
Yeah, I used to love those. Did you ever see those, Roddy? Not a horror topic.
Yeah, I specifically remember Best of the Best 2 being a videotape that I rented all the time.
That was a good movie. That was a good.
It really was.
Underground street fighting was what happened with Best of the Best 2.
I remember 1 and I remember 3. I'm trying to remember.
So
2.
your man, Nice Boy Eddie, is in an underground street fighting thing in Vegas, gets murdered, and he dies. And then Eric Roberts and the Japanese guy that can kick things 5 times higher than his face show up and beat the fuck out of anything that breathes, basically.
Yeah, put a blood sport on it.
Yeah, they just start whooping everybody's ass.
Yeah, they just opened up. Chris Penn, thank you, Mike. Yes,
thank you.
Chris Penn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he played the cowboy guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, last thing we were going to talk about before we give you our super good news before we leave was, I don't know if any of you mother lovers out there in the internet world were watching Dominion last night.
Oh my gosh, Dominion.
I haven't seen all of it yet.
But
But
you
I
saw
did
the
watch-
important bit. It's the best
Yes.
match ever in the living history of fucking wrestling. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I've never seen one man receive so many knees in the face.
I was just about to say, like, when did they put a magnet in Okada's hand for knees?
Oh, dude, it was unbelievable.
I think
I gotta say
you know
something.
what? I think
I
it's-
really wish they'd invest like in a black magic camera or something that does, the 3,000 frames per second slow motion. Cause, dude, him getting kneed and just a proper.
There was Okada goes. Do you remember near the early days of the match, right? Okada goes flying over the barrier, and Omega catches him with the knee. I missed the knee. It was so fucking fast. I legitimately thought that Okada's leg had just clipped the top of the barrier, and that's why he went down.
No, he did not.
I know. It wasn't until the replay that I realized, oh god, that was a knee.
There were so many times during that match that Omega would take his time and like set Okada up for these savage ass knees, and I'm just thinking to myself, Okada's gonna move, but he never did.
I actually wonder if it wasn't kind of after Shinsuke Nakamura went along saying the knee to face bit. Perhaps they were just taking the piss out of him for a while.
No, he's had the V trigger for a while.
Oh no, I mean just the prolific use of it over the course of this match. Because, knee to face.
Yeah, and it's also because as much as I like old Shinsuke Ball Nakamura, Cock Nakamura, that's way better. Yeah, I knew it was balls and punching. That's all I had. He does a shitty knee to the face.
He does now, yeah.
He does now. He used to proper launch into it. It's why I'd actually, as much as I'd love to see Kenny Omega go like full blown WWE commercial, I think he'd just be absolutely
watered down to fuck,
edited and diluted it down to just nothing.
Exactly. He'll never be.
No WWE guy's going to take that knee. No WWE guy's going to take that knee. Now, give me a year or two when all the NXT guys are coming up.
I think it's more accurate to say no WWE guy is going to be allowed to take that knee.
Yeah, because I thought he fucking. I won't lie to you. I thought he rearranged Okada's face on 1 or 2 occasions.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh my god.
Solid hits.
They were solid hits, and I had. I don't know. Did they have thicker tables than usual or something for Dominion? But those tables that they were working with, man, looked thick as hell.
I haven't seen the rest of Dominion. I only saw that match, and just when I saw the table, I just looked and went, "There's one of them going to die in that thing."
Well, Jericho, if memory serves me correctly, Jericho went head first through one of those tables.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
That's not even near the end of the match.
I know, but I'll be watching it tomorrow.
That's not even half.
Yeah, that match was savage.
Oh man! Came down looking like the fucking crow. Jericho.
Jericho is in the middle of this freaking renaissance. It's just amazing to watch this.
I think it's a midlife crisis, dude. Is what it is.
Or it's just the culmination of a lot of planning finally coming together.
No, without getting too much into the details of the match, because Giz specifically watched Okada versus Omega, so we could talk about it without me ruining it for him, because I informed him we were talking about it anyway, so catch up or get ruined. But without giving too much away,
Dara, to answer your question, just for this once, for a little bit, it's both.
It's just the end of this. We're finished with the horror. We do occasionally talk about wrestling because we're all wrestling junkies.
Yeah.
But shit. Oh yeah. The kind of the Alexi Clockwork Orange makeup that he came down in was very appropriate for the character that he was playing, because he was like anarchy personified in a good way.
Cool.
In a good way. Okay, so that's us pretty much rounded off for the GORECAST. I think that's it. I don't want to get too into it because
Don't you have something you want to say?
I have a very special thing that we have to say to people. I'm doing the.
Okay.
We have a goddamn show to plug, man.
I know where.
Catch the goddamn hell up. I'm getting this ready though. For that. So basically, I was talking to the boss man from American Horrors, where we have our TV show, and the boss man has let us know that we are back on the air officially as of the 24th of this month. www.americanhorrors.com, or if you've got Roku in America or wherever Roku is available. AMHOR is the download code for the channel. So the 24th, we're going to be back with our crazy promos and some rules to live by, and get you through life in relation to like werewolves and in relation to being in a horror movie in general. And we a multitude of other things. We've gone crazy on it. I've had a lot of time to think, and we thought about it, and we said, nah, fuck it, we'll go crazy. Evil puppets. Fucking Saki.
He's going to be the death of us.
Asshole.
Bastard.
He's an asshole. He hangs there quiet now.
Yeah.
Mouthy fuck. So, anyway, make sure to check out American Horrors next Sunday, and we're going to have promos running from next week, and we're going to be very happy to be back on the televisions through the United States of America and other places, or on the digital homings of places that don't have Roku. And other than that, I've been Johnny Deadly. That was The Giz. And a very, 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 very super special thanks to our friend Rotty P for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Make sure to keep an eye out on it's YouTube you're going for, isn't it, Rotty?
Yeah, but right now it's just YouTube. I have something else that's in way pre-production, but I do have a YouTube channel getting started called The Raw Farm. We should have a teaser trailer up sometime in early next month.
Nice. And I'm looking forward to it. And I've heard some of the ideas that this guy has. This isn't going to be you mother lovers out there in the internet world are going to be in for a bit of a treat. A bit of a horror-based treat.
Just briefly, Dara, to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of the women. Yes, what is good in life?
Yeah. That is good, but what is best in life? What?
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, to hear the lamentation of the women. Conan.
Okay. Oh, is he going for a Conan quote? I thought he was asking a genuine question.
Well, I assume he was going for a Conan quote.
Otherwise he wouldn't have used the Conan quote, I suppose. Okay, so from myself, Johnny Deadly, The Giz, and Roddy, in honour of Kenny Omega, I suppose, being a fucking wizard, you can round it off.
Goodbye, everybody.
And good night.
And now meet the star of our show. Symbol of a treat that quality made famous.